So, all right, so this is Javari again. So, back to what I'm saying about basically what I would call is the pile on effect. Back to that, right? So, again, basically, to briefly summarize it, you have these people who manufacture negative things to happen to me so that it can pick up with other people. And these people take on the behaviors of these previous negative things that have happened to me. It's a pile on, similar to a bystander effect where something negative happens, and and then nobody intervenes because they think someone else is going to intervene. So then you have a bunch of people who just see a situation and don't intervene. Similar in the fact that it's a bunch of people around a negative situation, but this is basically people piling on to a negative situation. So basically it's people who see a negative situation, and then pile on to it, right? So if somebody did something harmful to my life some years back, these people would then try to do something harmful to my life in the future. So basically, that would be how you can explain the disappearances of a whole bunch of my electronic devices. They see one, they find out one person, try to commit certain act against me. So then they go and try to do the same thing. They see one person try to scam me out of this, so they go and do the same thing. That's how it works. And basically the people who are doing this, they're doing it with the intention that other people will catch on and start carrying out the same behaviors. As I explained in another video, it's similar to a form of marketing, and it's similar to a form of marketing and advertisement, except it's marketing and advertising having negative stuff done to a specific individual. Right? So what I would guess now is it isn't. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm kind of mixing up what I'm saying. So basically, before my video cut off, I was talking about how people try to manufacture lies, that Javari was doing cocaine, even though Javari wasn't doing cocaine. Right? I said that in third person because I'm specifically saying who the lie was made up about. Right? And then basically you have the lies that Javari was stealing money out of people's bank accounts. That was another lie. These manufactured lies. It's the pile-on effect. It's the pile-on effect. And here's the thing about it. While you have a bunch of people who, all right, Javari's in a situation where, all right, Javari went to school with a lot of people who are who in this point in time are making over $100,000 a year and making good livings for themselves, right? They're not stuck in the predicament that Javari is stuck in. Fortunately for them. I mean, I'm not bitter towards them, anything like that. I'm happy for them that they're making a living for themselves, right? And from what I see, a lot of them are in careers that are making over $100,000. Probably some of them more than that, because some of them are doctors and lawyers, and some of them in the psychiatric field apparently. in business, in levels of business administration, directors of organizations, from what I see, right? So you have all these people making money, and then technically, technically, these are people I went to school with. So now, basically, you got a bunch of people trying to pass it off as, okay, Javari's out here stealing out of people's bank accounts and all this kind of stuff. That's the story they're trying to. That's the story these people are trying to run, right? Not saying the people from my high school. I'm saying that's the story. Whoever the people are that are doing it, that's the story they're trying to run. It's not a fictional thing because that was actually a thing that was happening. That people were trying to make up lies that Javari was stealing out of people's bank accounts. Like how the whole thing where people are getting transactions charged to their accounts that they never committed, and there's other people making those transactions. The whole popular scamming people thing out there money, right? So this is part of the pile-on. This is part of the pile-on effect. Start up a bunch of mistruths and deceptions about Javari, and now these people who went to school with Javari now, who went to high school with Javari now, who are people who they're people who are set up to make over $100,000, as I said, and a year in salary, and they are doing that or near it, if not at it, right? So now you have that, and then you have a bunch of people manufacturing these lies that you've already seen out of people's bank accounts. The purpose of that is to try to basically create isolation. So it's like you create you got a you got a bunch of people who are making you got a bunch of people who are making a living for themselves, making over $100,000, and they hear this person who went to school with them, who who may personally know some of them, know their full names and stuff like that, know where they're from and all this kind of stuff, right? This person now is found to be stealing money out of people's bank accounts. I don't want that person anywhere near me. I gotta find a way to protect my identity from this individual because this is a person that was in our network, right? So the whole purpose of one of the purposes of the lie that they manufactured about me was to attack into the network of people that I would be affiliated with, even if necessarily, even if my life hasn't turned out like theirs, right? Even if my life hasn't turned out like theirs, I was still for 3.5 years, a little bit over 3.5 years to 4.5 years, affiliated in that network. I was going to school. I was going to school with these individuals. It's a way. That's something that a lot of other people can't say. They may meet people in college that are doing something for themselves, right? But it's not like it's a whole school of people that you went to school with that are people who are sure lots to be making $100,000 a year, doing a lot of big things in their life. Some of them over that is not, so they don't have access to that network. So guess who shouldn't have access to that network either? Javari. So how do you make it so that Javari may not have access to that network? You start manufacturing lies that Javari is out here stealing out of people's bank accounts, and this is stealth stuff because most of the people who do this kind of stuff they're not really ever found. They're not ever really found out. So basically, it puts a target. Basically is like how they even talk about narcissistic people like to isolate you from your social circles and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of like that. Even if I was not the most popular person in my high school, there are people who I was friends with, affiliated with, who basically are well off in life. For all you know, these are people who can help guide me in life and give me direction in life, right? And you have this big network of people, and basically this was a basically what these people what with the pylon effect now, these people manufactured lies to try to isolate me from having access to that network, or making that network not want to affiliate with me. There's a lot more to this, but I'll leave it at that for now.